Good afternoon, Core Radio. How are you today? This is NeAnne, and you are listening to Healthy Journey. You can find me at slash tag. Let's say that correctly. Hashtag Healthy Living with NeAnne, and here on Facebook. So I just walked through my family's journey to health, which is a constant journey. We started it about 12 years ago, but it's something that you have to be diligent about every day. And so it is a journey. I am continuing on this journey with my family and friends and whoever I can get to come along beside us on this path and just do this life with us, because I want to remain in good health, increase my wellness throughout the day, and just keep on keeping on, you know what I mean? So if you would like to join me on this journey to health and wellness, then I invite you to come along. And one of the ways to do that is to join in here in the afternoons during my Healthy Journey program. And another way is to join our team of young living independent distributors who go around and share health and wellness with other people, or just practice health and wellness in their home. So either way is good. Like I said, I started this journey about 12 years ago. I am a stay-at-home, work-from-home, homeschooling from home mom of 5 children. 3 of our children have graduated high school, so I am no longer homeschooling them, but we did homeschool them all the way through high school. 2 of them are in college, and one of them is on his way to his career path. And then 2 of ours are still at home, and we are walking through the homeschooling journey with them. But I do try to do my best with food choices, with personal care product choices that we use in our home. I try to find ones that aren't saturated with chemicals. That's one of the reasons that I love my Young Living products, is because they are plant-based and they don't include harmful chemicals. So I have been able to switch all of our products in our home to a Young Living product that I don't mind using on my family, and especially my little ones, because we have a 6, she just turned 7, a 7 and a 9-year-old in the house. Their little bodies aren't able to process chemicals like our bigger bodies are. And it's hard enough for our adult bodies to process chemicals, but for the little ones, it's even harder. And so I make sure that the products that they are using do not have harmful chemicals in them, or harmful toxins. So very diligent about that, but I have been blessed with a way to get those through our Young Living account, and I just order those online and have them shipped directly to my door. So if you would like some more information on that, just, I teach on that several times, but it's super easy to do. I can help you with that. Joining our Young Living team is super easy. All you need is my member number, which is 1416900, and then you would just go to youngliving.com, click on Become a Member, choose the starter kit that's most appropriate for you, and then it'll ask who introduced you to Young Living, and you can, like I said, use my member number, 1416900. That places you on my team so that I can help you to continue learning health and wellness and how to ditch and switch products in your home. Ditch the chemicals and switch to plant-based products that work just as well. You don't need harmful chemicals in your home. But we also talk about food here. We also talk about, hold on, I was looking for something. Just, if I find some interesting articles, or like, we've talked about articles on sunscreen, how to stop using the chemical sunscreen and switch to a natural sunscreen that works just as well. It works just as well, and it doesn't have the harmful cancer-causing chemicals in it. And they have been proven to be cancer-causing in some of the sunscreens that are out there. So I'm just looking real quick. I'm trying to remember. We've been walking our way through The 100-Year Lie by Randall Fitzgerald. And I had my bookmark in there. But I'm trying to remember if that's exactly where we were. Let me see. All right, so I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep looking for that. I think that's where we were. But this is one of the books that started me on my journey to chemical-free, healthful living 12 years ago. It's called The 100-Year Lie by Randall Fitzgerald. In the introduction, he states that over the past 100 years, our species has been engaged in a vast and complicated chemistry experiment. Each and every one of us, along with our children, our parents, and our grandparents, has been a guinea pig in this experiment, which uses our bodies, our health, our wealth, and our goodwill to test the proposition that modern science can improve upon the foods and medicines of nature. And so that's the introduction. I should go back and there's one other place that I would like to highlight, but I'll go back and do that for another time. But anyway, so when I was starting my family, I used to use artificial sweeteners when I was younger because we were told they were okay, right? And so my whole family, everybody in my family, when I was probably in my teens, when I was younger, we never drank Diet Coke. But when I was in my teens, I had noticed that all of the adult people in my family had switched to Diet Coke. And then, we always drank sweet tea because we were from Texas. So we always drank sweet tea. And then we had a shift in my family where everybody was putting artificial sweetener in their tea instead of sugar. Because, we were trying to cut calories. Everybody's trying to cut calories and get healthy and blah, blah, blah. And so, at that, the thinking in my mind was, well, okay, if it's on the market, it must have been tested and shown to be okay, because if it was harmful to people, surely they wouldn't let people buy it in the store, right? They being the government agencies that are supposed to be overseeing our food supply, all those regulations on the food supply and what goes in our food and labeling laws and all that. So, so my thinking at that point was surely, it can't be bad for you, or it wouldn't be sold in the grocery store. So then, I grew up and started my own family and went through nursing school at a university. And surely the FDA was watching out for us, right? Still thinking that way. But then when I started having my own children, when I was pregnant with my children, I tried not to do anything that was artificial. I didn't do artificial sweeteners. I tried not to take medication if I didn't absolutely have to. And I think that honestly, it was just a mother's instinct to protect the child that you're growing inside your body. because, then after having the baby, then, you're trying to lose that weight, and it was back to Diet Coke, sweeteners in your tea, blah, blah, blah. But then, 12 years ago, when I started doing the research, one of the very first things I found out, and through reading this book and a couple of other books, was it's not the job of the FDA to test the safety of what they're putting in our foods, what they're putting in our personal care products, what they're allowing to be sold in the grocery store. That is not what they do. They don't test them before something goes to the public, and including drugs. Drugs are tested by the manufacturer, and those studies are given to the FDA. So the FDA does not test any of those items before it goes on the market. And there's a whole list of chemicals. There's over 100,000 chemicals that were grandfathered in to our food and personal care product supply chain in 1973 when Congress passed a act. But those were grandfathered in and didn't have to be tested. They could still be used. So the testing comes after something is proven to be harmful. The testing comes from independent sources who say, I think there's something wrong with this ingredient or this product or this chemical, but the FDA is not pulling it off the shelf, so we independently will have to prove that it's harmful to force the government to take it out of our supply chain. So that's kind of how it works. So it was kind of frustrating. It was kind of like I had been lied to all my life, that I had been tricked and cajoled and just the wool pulled over our eyes when it comes to stuff like that. So it was kind of irritating, kind of made me mad. So I just went through my house and started throwing stuff away. So I don't know if you have that reaction when you learn something that could be harmful to your family, but I just went through the house and just honestly took a trash bag and started throwing stuff away and said, nope, not anymore. Not going to do this. It's going to go in the trash, and I'm going to find something that's better for myself and for my family. And so that's what we have done for the last 12 years. And it takes constant diligence. It's not just something, one and done kind of thing. It's constant diligence, because I was purchasing it said natural deodorant for my husband for a long time, having him use it. And then I sat down one day and reviewed the ingredients and found that one of the chemicals in there is one of the chemicals that we try to avoid every day. And so I was like, okay, well, we're going to have to reevaluate that. Triclosan was found in there, and triclosan has actually been recalled or banned, or they said that they can't use it anymore because it's been found to be cancer causing. So, but they had given them a year. They had given all manufacturers a year to get it out of their products, and that was in I think September of 2017 is when it was supposed to go into effect. But I don't know if it has actually been taken out of those products, or if they were given a waiver, or if they were, extended it, or what. I need to start reviewing that and maybe look that up. But anyway, so it's not a one and done. It's a daily diligence in your home, and you have to make sure that you are reviewing what you're using in your home, whether it's food products or personal care products or whatever, and just be ever diligent about that. So that's where we started. That's where we go every day. So I'm going to just read a little bit about what we're under. Let's see. a little bit out of Randall Fitzgerald's book today because we've been working through that, and we are on, let's see, we've gone pretty way. We're on chapter 6, like page 159. But in this chapter, what it's called is chapter 6, Are We Becoming a Mutant Species? Is the question in the title. And it begins by saying exposure to toxic chemicals and a combination of genetic and toxic chemical factors cause about 28% of all developmental defects, affecting 120,000 infants born each year. And that statistic came from the National Research Council Commission on Life Sciences study of 2000. So if you want to look that up, National Research Council Commission on Life Sciences study, printed in 2000. So this is the chapter we're on. But what he's speaking about, where we are at, is the myths we cherish. Because like I was telling you, the myth I cherished growing up and when I started my own family was that we were protected from harmful things by our government, which is not true. That is not the job of the government. They are not reviewing and testing and formulating things that are okay for us. So that's a myth that I cherish, and I have gotten over that. My eyes have been opened. The scales have been pulled away from my eyes. But the myth we cherish that he's going to speak about right now on page 159 is everything is normal. So let's see what he says about that. So more people seem to have cancer today only because we are living longer. More children seem to have autism today only because our detection techniques for disease are more highly developed. More of us may have more chemicals detectable in our bodies today, but that is normal and not a cause for concern because those chemicals are just passing through. Those three statements, each of which is countered somewhere in this book, are a sampling of informational quote-unquote facts featured on websites funded by the chemical industry and the plastics manufacturers. They typify the well-funded public relations campaign initiated by those economic interests along with the food and drug industries to convince us that we have nothing to fear but fear itself. The quote-unquote just passing through analogy in particular, as promoted on the Phthalates Information Center site, is intriguing enough to quote at length. So let's see what it says. So, quote, according to movies about the Old West, the town sheriff made it a habit to ask strangers in town about their intentions. The response, just passing through, was meant to reassure the sheriff that the local populace, the stranger, wanted no trouble and would soon be gone. Just passing through could be the exit line for most of the substances that get into our bodies from our daily eating, drinking, breathing, and touching, unquote. Chemicals that we carry around within us as a body burden, according to this plastics industry argument, are well below regulatory safety levels and break down and disappear as fast as they arrive. Quote, just like the cinematic sheriff, the body can readily handle the small amounts of materials that are just passing through, unquote. In other words, don't worry, be happy. Those 700 or so synthetic chemicals a normal person now carries around in their body, which hadn't, by the way, broken down and disappeared when they were measured in the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention studies, have been normal hitchhikers in our bodies today, even though none of those chemicals even existed when your grandparents were born. Redefining what is normal has become a game that special interests play. But the rules of this game are changing faster than anyone wants to acknowledge. Take the most basic assumption in chemical risk assessment, an assumption used in connection with all products produced, that there is a certain safe level of contamination below which no effects are caused. That reassuring idea was dealt a serious blow in 1999 with the publication in Environmental Health Perspectives of a study showing that endocrine disruptor chemicals can cause health effects at extremely low dosages, Some low levels of exposure actually create more negative health effects in either animals or humans than higher doses do. A friend of mine, Terry Cafferty, a senior engineering consultant to various aerospace firms, heard some of these, quote, redefining what is normal, unquote, statements from the chemical industry and detected some parallels to his own field. I often deal with scientists in my work, really intelligent people who are designing and conducting very elaborate experiments to try to find out how everything came to be. They are, underneath their highly specialized education and training, very ordinary people with families and ordinary lives. They are not infallible sources of truth and wisdom, and they disagree with each other, unquote. There is an erroneous and widespread perception about scientists, namely that they are completely wise and can therefore be relied upon to tell the truth. They are supposed to be objective observers of objective reality. Scientists and doctors are subjective beings like everyone else, and their opinions, feelings, and perceptions color how they see the objective facts of any question or situation. Given that the science of low-level chemical exposure is in its infancy and the science of low-level synergy is barely conceived, is it more reasonable to take the side of caution? Is it more reasonable to imagine that the human immune system doesn't know what to do with synthetics and say they are stored in the body, leading to increasing toxicity and disease? Or is it reasonable to assume you can put low levels of anything in there as long as it has not been proven to cause a problem? Scientists do not say that low levels of chemicals in the human body are harmless. What they say is that many of them have not been proven harmless or harmful by means that satisfy them. Does that mean they are personally anxious to ingest a bunch of different chemicals into their bodies because it has not been proven harmful to do so? I doubt it. But the mind game they continue to play with the public goes like this. It hasn't been proven that ingesting or inhaling or absorbing low levels of a synthetic chemical is harmful to your health. So therefore, you should go ahead and keep on ingesting and absorbing this stuff until science gets around to convincingly proving that it is okay. This is a dangerous nonsense. These guys are saying trace levels of chemical X may not be causative in relation to an increase in disease. But what about trace levels of 10, 20, 50, or 100 chemicals? What are the synergistic defects that causes illness and disease? Do these scientists know? Of course not. But any idiot knows that if you pollute yourself, you get sick. Responding to skeptics who discount as alarmist all concerns about the hormonal effects of synthetic chemicals, the authors of Our Stolen Future point out that manufacturers frequently withhold information about the ingredients in their products using the claim of proprietary information or trade secrets. As a result, it is anybody's guess how many of the plastic consumer goods on the market contain hormone-disrupting chemicals. The information in the scientific literature about the biological activity of and human exposure to chemicals of concern is equally fragmentary and unsatisfactory. What is definitely not normal is how our bodies are losing many of our natural defenses that help to repel chemical and viral invaders and to keep us healthy. A 2004 special issue of Environmental Science and Technology and American Chemical Society Journal was devoted to the new science of ecotoxicology, the study of synthetic chemical effects on life and environment. The journal editors wrote that this new field and its research are vital if we are to protect our living heritage from the cocktail of chemicals present in all environments. Cited as particularly important was research about the impact of musk fragrances, those synthetic chemicals used to enhance the smell of shampoos and air fresheners and detergents, which aren't removed by sewage treatment and as a result now contaminate most bodies of water. A California Sea Grant program examined how these synthetic fragrances affect the natural defenses of mussels. After a large group of mussels was exposed to low concentrations of 6 commercial musk chemicals, they were washed and placed in water containing a red dye. The mussels quickly soaked up the dye, which was abnormal because mussels have the ability to detect and repel foreign substances such as dyes. They had lost their natural defense as a result of the musk chemical exposure. Like mussels and most other animal species, humans use protective mechanisms against chemical invaders. It is known that these musk chemicals are building up in human tissues and becoming a permanent part of our toxic body burden. The health dangers are unknown, just another unknown among many, but this study suggests a way in which these chemicals may be weakening the human immune system. This is definitely not normal. So there's some information about that, about those chemicals that have not been tested. Many of them have not been tested, especially by the people that are using them. Some of them have been tested and they're using them anyway. Some of them are being tested by independent or large third-party groups. And the EPA actually came out and said that they were going to start testing 10 chemicals per year. I think that came out last year. And if they started with 10 chemicals per year, it would probably take them, 10,000 years? Yeah. 10,000 years to test all of the products, all of the chemicals that are out there that are allowed to be used in our products. So just saying, it might take them a while. But I am going to let you go for today. We have to go catch some cows. We raise our own grass-fed, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, pesticide and herbicide-free cattle, which we don't spray the fields. They only eat grass. They don't eat grain because that's how their stomachs were designed. Cows were meant to be grass eaters. And so we raise our own so that we have a good source of meat for our family. And we're going to have to run out and catch them real quick and see how they're doing and count them and get them tagged and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to go have some fun with the cows this afternoon. So I'm going to have to cut this show short. But I hope that what I have shared with you today will inspire you to go look through your cabinet, go look through your under the counter in the kitchen, under the counter in the bathroom, above the counter in the laundry room, wherever you put your products that you use with and for and on your family every day. I hope I've inspired you to go look at that and see if there's something better you can do. If you have questions about the products that Young Living offers, because like I said, I have been able to get rid of all of those chemicals just by ditching them and switching them out for Young Living all-natural plant-based products, and it's amazing. They work very well, and I don't have to worry about what I'm putting on my clothes because we have laundry detergent. I don't have to worry about the shampoo. I don't have to worry about conditioner. And then we also have our amazing world-leading essential oils that we use for all kinds of things. So if you have questions about that, comment. You can email me at healthyjourney2016@gmail.com. That's healthyjourney2016@gmail.com. And again, if you would like to get some information about, or just go, you're like, I'm done. I want those products for myself, and you're ready to go to youngliving.com. It'll ask you who introduced you. My Member number is 1416900. That's 1416900. And if you order using that number, that will place you on my team. I can get your contact information, and I have some reference material that I'd love to share with you. So have a wonderful afternoon and evening, and we will see you back here later.